National Forest off-road trail users will soon be limited in their outdoor adventures under the federal Forest Travel Management Plan that will essentially shut down hundreds of miles of recreationally used dirt roads and trails. This proposed plan, however, not only will take such limitations in our own local area, but across the country in all other National Forest Service lands. For the KNF, this process started about 6 years ago as a motorized travel management process. At the time, authorities were reviewing a route designation process to identify opportunities for people to ride four-wheelers and other off-road vehicles.
The chief of the Forest Service said there's 156 national forests and grasslands, from Maine to Southern California and Alaska and everything in between. For all of those national forest lands and grasslands, we're going to go through a motorized travel management process.
The Forest Service has worked really well with the Siskiyou County off-road riders. They've came to us to get information. We've shared a lot of information with them, and they've listened to us. I don't think there's anything that we've submitted that they haven't addressed in their plan.
Approximately 1.2 million acres are currently open for off-highway users in the KNF, of which about 508,000 acres are unavailable due to slope and topography. According to the national level, all such use of non-designated roads would be prohibited to use cross-country use. KNF authorities, though, are working with the off-road community of Siskiyou County to designate more trails and roads that are currently off the charts. Local off-roaders, however, do not feel that their requests are being fairly met, given that only 11% of the roads that they requested to have left open have been approved by the most liberal plan.
Folks have come in with, and you can kind of see on these maps, folks have come in, the off-road riding community, primarily. They've come in and the public's identified, I think, about 400 miles of those kinds of routes that they've been using.
We said we like this trail, we left out a whole bunch of trails, but let's say that's 100% of the riding area. Of the 100%, we got in their most liberal plan, gives us 11% of those trails back.
What's our latest count on our?
We have one alternative, 92 miles.
That we add 92 miles of, new routes.
The club supports the designated trail system. Not one existing national forest trail was looked at for off-road riding. Not one trail. Anywhere on the forest did they look at designating another trail.
The KNF recently completed an 800-page draft of an environmental impact statement that will outline the analysis of the plan. Public comment will close on August 4th after a 45-day comment period that the KNF has provided for OHV riders to identify roads and trails. Another draft will be released in the late fall or early winter, followed by another comment period before the final statement will be issued free of charge to the public to know which routes can be legally used.
Well, thank you, Sarah. I understand that you went out for a little ride as part of this story. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your ride, Sarah?
The SCORE group, the Siskiyou County Off-Road Riders, gave Caleb and I an opportunity to go see what kind of roads that they're leaving open or what kind of roads that they want to have open, but the KNF will probably have to shut down. It was a lot of fun. Caleb and I got to ride some four-wheelers, and we went up in the mountains in the Hubbard drainage, and that was about it.
Now, were there any sort of accidents that happened, or did anyone get their, shall we say, their ATV stuck at a tree or anything like this, Sarah?
Well, I had a lot of fun. Mostly I was safe, but there was a couple times I almost rolled, and one time I got stuck up in some trees, and no one would come help me, but it was all fun. It wasn't that bad.
And how many gentlemen were out there on this trip and did not come and help you? And was one of them Caleb?
One was
Grand
Caleb.
Dragon?
One was Caleb, and one was the president of SCORE, along with two other of their club members.
And you yelled for help. I need to get to the bottom of this, Sarah. You yelled for help, right? And
yeah,
what happened?
I came down the hill, slid downhill, got stuck in a tree. wasn't too bad. I was yelling to get someone to help me because they're pretty heavy. I heard some miners, but they just told me to hold on, and no one else ever came. So eventually I had to deal with it myself and came down, and they were just drinking their soda and not really helping me.
They were just drinking their soda and not really helping me. I think you'd probably like us to switch to some of our sponsors and supporters of this broadcast now, wouldn't you,
Go
Sarah?
ahead.
So, Caleb, let's check in with some of our sponsors and supporters of this broadcast.